You know when you say yes to like a million projects, so you end up working from the moment you get up to the moment you go to bed? And you know that awful feeling when you think you're going insane and there's no end in sight, but you can't stop now because you've committed to all of these things? Well, that leads to burnout. Number 1, micro breaks. I started incorporating micro breaks when I was working doubles, so at a school in the morning and a pub in the evening. I had to take the train from one side of London to the other side, and I was exhausted. On the train, I started to shut my eyes for between like 5 and 10 minutes. Sometimes I would actually sleep when I did this, and sometimes I would just zone out. But that zoning out actually gave me like a little boost. You know the phrase clear your mind? That's it. When I was working 9 to 5 and also writing music for a show I was producing and learning lines for said show and going to rehearsals at night, micro breaks saved my life. I had to like write music on my lunch breaks, but I would always set aside like 10 to 20 minutes to just sit outside and look at the sky. Or look at the trees, or read a book, whatever works for you. And I know sometimes when you're really busy, it feels like you can't spare 10 minutes, but it's 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes you 10 minutes in the bathroom, if you know what I'm saying, and you wouldn't deny yourself that. Number 2, scheduling. Be extremely clear about what needs doing and have a timeline for when stuff needs to get done. This will help you avoid getting overwhelmed, and it also makes it very clear when things need to fall by the wayside, i.e., stuff you need to say no to. When I was working full-time and I had to learn a ton of lines, I would write down which pages I was going to learn and what day I was going to learn them and at what time of day so that I could meet my rehearsal deadlines. I only met those deadlines because my schedule was airtight and well thought through. And when I was done learning lines, I took a micro break. Number 3, me time activities. It would be great if you could sort out what these me time activities are before you're even getting to a burnout place. But basically what I mean is activities that allow you to forget about work. For some people, scrolling on Instagram is a great downtime activity. For others, it's a big no-no. For some, it's yoga or running or some other kind of short exercise activity that you can fit into your work schedule. My coworker goes to Pilates every other day at 11. She just stops working and goes. It's really inspiring. For my dad, it's washing dishes at the end of the day as a sort of wind down activity. He says it's like his therapy. He listens to a podcast and meticulously washes, dries, and puts away the dishes, which results in a clean kitchen the next day, something everyone wants to wake up to. And it can take less than 20 minutes. Number 4, no phones in bed. This goes for the morning and the evening. I will always remember being on my phone at midnight in bed trying to promote on Instagram a play that I was producing. My husband came in and was like, "Put that away or you're not going to sleep again." I realized he was right. I'd been sleeping like garbage because all I was thinking about was promoting this show. I thought about it morning, noon, and night while I slept. Guys. Sleep is sacred. Don't mess with it. As I've mentioned before, I no longer charge my phone on my nightstand. It sleeps in the next room. And when I wake up in the morning, I do some stretches and some journal entries before I even look at my phone so that I can squeeze a little bit more me time before the onslaught of emails. Basically, it's about setting boundaries. And speaking of boundaries, number 5, say no. When you've committed to a lot of stuff, or maybe even just like a couple big projects, they tend to take over your life. So try and prioritize what's really important. Will this thing advance your career? Or will it give you some much needed money? Or is this service essential to the community? These are big questions that need answering, but alongside those things are doing favors for people, or signing up to a class you actually don't have time or headspace for, or adding a project that you know is going to interfere with essential family time commitments. When you're busy, sometimes you can be on a roll of like saying yes, and you think, maybe this is what it feels like to make it. No, honey, that's workaholism, and it leads to burnout. There is a gap between living your dream and workaholism, and it is defined by saying no. And be aware that some of the things that are being thrown at you might be able to be postponed. I'm a huge fan of the question, when do you need this by? Are you flexible on time? Or I could get this done next month, but this month is really busy. You don't necessarily have to close doors. Just be clear and honest about what your real availability is. You don't want to be so available that people start taking advantage of you. And you also don't want to work day and night so that your brain has no time to rest. All these things really add up to boundaries, either the ones you set for yourself or the ones that you give to other people. Stress is a killer. So when you're busy, think boundaries, not burnout. I want to take a moment to thank my patrons on Patreon. You guys have inspired me to make these videos and to write more music, and especially during lockdown, it's been really a balm to have this community. If anybody wants to become a patron, it's really easy. You can sign up for as little as $1 per creation. Just go to patreon.com/Erica Lee Martin. When you sign up, you get to see a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. You can even get little extras in your inbox, plenty of perks, and you could make a huge difference in this artist's life. Like this video and share it with your busy friends and family. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and comment below if you are going to try these tips. Happy working!